Okay, sorry, I got an issue with volumes here. So the plywood you said was
We viewed using the plywood as taking a little more time and more mess on site than using the decking.
okay.
We prefer to put the bar joist in, deck it, and be done at that location from an installation standpoint.
Here in Connecticut, would the plywood be done by carpenters?
That's the other thing. I have a whole other trade I need to bring in during my erection process. The deck allows me to just have my ironworkers set everything. The plywood, I gotta have carpenters come back and forth multiple trips between installing, stripping, moving, reinstalling.
Okay.
To us, we saw it as an extra step.
Okay. So the simplicity of using the middle deck
The deck, yeah.
was what made you go for that.
Yep, and that may be me. I'm a deck and bar joist guy in 95% of my job, so maybe I was mentally pushing the metal anyhow, but like I said, that's how we saw the plywood.
Here on this specific project, you guys have a load-bearing wall with light gauge studs.
That's correct.
Is main of your business done this way? A lot of your business done this way, or usually have structural steel, or?
No. As a company, we do everything. I would never say there's one main thing. I see all different
Okay.
wall types.
Okay.
Primarily, I see a lot of structural steel, curtain wall, wrapping the building type assemblies.
Okay. How do you like the Hambro so far?
I like it. It's as easy as it looks on paper. And even my first go around with Hambro in this layout of a building, even my first go around wasn't even a hard process. I feel like I could do it blindfolded the second time.
That's good. Good to know. You talked to me earlier as far as having to change the design of this project, put you guys behind schedule and so on and so forth. And there was some but some delayed in part of the professionals to get you the answers for your loads and communication back and forth between you, the professionals, and Hambro.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain or comment on that and how it went and how was the whole experience?
The PM could comment more, but let's see. Actually, can you ask that question again?
Well, I just want to know how was dealing with our engineering team versus your professional engineering
Well,
team.
dealing with your engineering team was easier than dealing with my EOR.
Good to know.
Getting everybody. Once again, we're a CM. We usually buy this out in a steel package. So what we did with the redesign, in the time that was disappearing, is instead of waiting for steel drawings to be completed for bidding, we went right to Hambro with the contract drawings we had at the time and just got the process going.
Okay.
So I know on the project manager's ends, he probably, I think the only problems he had was just the fact that he's not normally dealing with the nuts and bolts of the buy on the floor. It's usually the steel sub,
Were your engineer of record aware of Hambro, or did they had any concern?
He was aware of Hambro, generically.
Okay.
Generically, there's a lot of design on the project where we have our bearing walls where you have a two-room condition with two different boxes of joists. On the contract drawings, the EOR has everything in a straight line, joist meeting to joist. In the real world, after slab penetrations are calculated and joists are shifted around to avoid those, that layout didn't apply. So a double stud condition picking up two joists on each side of the wall turned into two double studs separated according to the Hambro layout. That's one thing that didn't get captured until after this chop drawing was done and after cold form was done, and I said, hey, these don't match. We're not hitting bearing points here.
Okay, I see. If we go more, I'll go more specific into the details with this project. Feel free to add anything at any point in time. Delivery so far, any issues?
Spot on.
Spot on.
Spot on.
On time. Any problem with the quality of the products on trucks or damage?
Not at all.
Or
Not at all.
anything to complain about delivery? The deck bundles. Due to the fact it's Embro, those are very small sheets.
Mm-hmm.
Is it creating an issue for you guys to handle that many more sheets?
No, it's easier. They're smaller units, easier to handle, easier to install.
Okay. I came here this week trying to get to videotape the guys putting down deck. There was a schedule shift around. I didn't get to do that, but can you explain to me how those guys, the steel guy, put the deck on? Did they start with the corner of the building, put them a platform, or how they were hosting the deck package up, and so on and so forth?
They were lifting up a unit with the lulls, and they would fill in like a middle bay area,
Okay.
and then load a little material on once they had a platform to work on.
Okay. So they used the Zoom Boom
Yep.
to hold the pack,
The
one or
the
two
lull.
packets,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
and then built on that.
Correct.
Okay. Do you know if they have any plans? That's probably good for the next floor, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to reach that high for the last floor. Do you know?
Probably do this similar thing, but via crane.
Via crane.
Yep.
So they'll hold a bundle there for a while
Yep.
and drop it. That first bundle, where they put it? Do they put piece of
Dunnage.
Dunnage.
Dunnage. Yeah. Yep.
So
Yep.
so they put dunnage on
Wood.
top of the joist.
Yep.
Put a one or two bundle there.
They were just dropping one.
Okay.
Yep.
Spread it out, make themselves a little work
Area.
and then put the next one
And then
there,
slowly load it in. Yep.
and then walk around
Per
from
square.
there.
Yep.
per main
Yep.
per main area. Okay. For the joist installation, positioning, any issue? It's probably regular to standard joist for you guys.
Yep. Yep. No, just like any other framing. Easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know we were talking about you have a specific issue here with the joist being welded on top of the cold form stud walls. Is that happen often, or that you need to have specific certification? for welders?
Once again, this is actually the first heavy light gauge bearing wall structure that I've
Okay.
supervised in 20 years. So I couldn't answer that.
Okay. So it might be only particular to this issue. One other thing we have with the Embro MD2000 is when you go to the seat, right here I've seen only a few joists that were bolted, but not everything is welded, which is less of a problem. But when it's bolted and you have your steel deck, you're gonna have to notch the corner of that sheet, the last sheet, so you're able to get it to your beam to avoid that bolt,
Right.
or bolt head, I should say. Do you feel this represent any drawbacks for you?
No.
Not to have to cut that piece of deck.
And then patch deck in after?
Yeah.
Or? No.
It's not worse than any other system, or
Compared to welding that joist?
I don't know, compared to either with plywood or compared to, because having to notch that little piece of sheet where you have regular joist and deck, the deck's going to go on top of the joist, so you don't have those cuts to make.
Yeah.
Is it really?
I haven't stared at that.
Is it
Yeah,
time
it's-
consuming?
Yeah, I
or-
haven't stared at that enough. It is a little time consuming, but I have not stared at that condition enough yet.
Okay, you'll find out more as you go.
Sure.
Okay. Give me a second here. The bridging with the MD2000 here, you have X bridging
Mm-hmm.
that is bolted.
Bolted, yep.
Any issue for you guys to install that?
Nope, not so far.
Not so far. Any suggestion how to improve on this, or because sometimes we also use top and bottom bridging. You guys prefer that welded, or you prefer an X bolted?
For an X bolted, primarily prefer bolted or screwed connection whenever available.
Okay, so that would be your connection of
Yep.
choice.
Yep.
Uh, you the other question I have, we're not there yet, is mainly about the concrete slab pour, which the wire mesh. I know you received it yesterday. Any you foresee any issue installing this or?
No, no, it's traditional,
Okay.
similar to what I'm used to.
Okay. You are aware with Embro, I think they have the details on the drawings where you need not to overlap on top of a joist. Make sure you overlap in between.
In the middle of a bay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And let the slump
And
goes.
you actually use the S of the joist as
Yeah.
your chair. There's no chair.
Okay. Question for you: how you're gonna do your pour to level your pour? You're using a laser.
Laser. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
This is a big no-no with Embro. You may want to look in the drawing. We'll get on that later on. But the joists with Embro are calculated to deflect over the load of the concrete. So if you use a laser, you're going to pour too much. By the time they deflect, then you're going to have poured too much. Then you're going to under deflect.
Yep.
So it's good. You should do it by stick.
Okay.
Have a stick and
I'll verify those notes.
we'll
My
verify those.
Concrete
notes.
guy and I are having a pre-slab meeting end of this week anyhow, so
Okay,
we'll cover
so
that.
you may want to cover that. This doesn't apply for the. What you see any advantages of this system versus traditional?
Yeah. Advantages. It's simpler and in well, if I had no structural steel, in this part of the world, I could actually have carpenters install this system. You know, if I didn't have the steel component, this could be all cold form framing, and I could drop Hambro joists with bolted connections.
You would have, because we have a. Again, this would have to be verified based on the load and everything, but I know we can put Embro on wood, and when they do that, they provide two little holes for the installer to put in nails.
Yeah.
So I think you can do the same thing on light gauge
Mm-hmm.
with a screw.
Self-tapping screw.
Yeah. So that would have been something you would have preferred.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for a small facility, small building, that's ideal. I mean, you could really crank a building out.
Okay.
You know,
I don't know.
all the planning's done right.
Here you have those big tubes, so I'm not sure if it's. We probably couldn't screw in those big tubes, but
Right.
again, that's something that could be looked on
Right.
for the next projects. Let me ask you this: you think that you'll reuse Embro in the future?
I would, absolutely.
You would, so
Yep.
you would try to do other jobs.
Yep.
Okay. What are the points that you want us to improve on?
I guess it's good when I take a second. I really have no quick answer or complaint.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
It's still early.
Still early. Maybe if I come back in a month or two from now, you'll have a shitload waiting for me. But so okay. So far, you haven't seen any major drawbacks or any.
No.
Okay. Any other? I'm trying to think here about question or comments. You guys couldn't compare with other Embro D500, so that's usually the bulk of the questions are geared toward.
Sure. Yeah. These guys are switching over. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. How you feel about this and how you feel about that. Well, thank you for your time, Brian. If we think about anything else, we'll let you know. You have our numbers. I know Vincent is in touch with you quite a bit also.
Yep.
Maybe I'll see if tomorrow morning I can have a chat with the steel erector guy.
Yep.
And we'll go from there.
Great.